Hey, it's time for a work rant. Uh, for starters, I would say if you're going to get a tattoo, please, for love of fuck, stop bringing in Pinterest pictures. It's good to have reference. I think it's really cool to have an idea that you sort of like or that's geared towards what you're kind of looking for. But most artists, and these are the ones that are typically worth a shit, uh, don't want to reproduce other people's tattoos verbatim because it's basically stealing from the original artist who did that work, and it's stealing from the person who maybe wanted a custom tattoo that's a one of a kind that now you fucking have too. Um, it's kind of funny that that should even have to be explained because the idea of a tattoo is that it's unique or original or it says something about you. And if you're copying it verbatim from somebody else to get the exact same thing that they have, that's kind of the opposite of being unique or individual or tailor made for you. So print that stuff out maybe. Have it as an inspiration or something that the artist can say, I can do something like that, and let them kind of draw something up. But please stop bringing stuff in and saying, I want that exactly like that, because that's kind of dumb and it's really frustrating. And unfortunately, we're typically trying not to insult you or upset you, but there's really no way of saying we don't want to do that exact same shit on you, because you're going to hate it when you bump into somebody else that has the exact same tattoo in the exact same location. And believe me, there's a lot more than you think of that idea. If it's on Pinterest, you are one of 20,000 people who probably have the exact same tattoo in the exact same spot. So don't do that. Second part of the rant is price. I don't know how or why price became the only thing that matters in tattooing. But I understand that there's that like division between what people know about tattooing and what they think they know about tattooing. I kind of blame a lot of the TV shows that unfortunately don't really put price tags on fucking anything. So no one really has a gauge or an estimate of where they start. Most studios have a minimum that starts around $60, meaning even if you get a fucking dot on your finger, it's going to be 60. And then they run up anywhere between sometimes $100 minimum, per hour, all the way up to a few $100s per hour. And that kind of depends on the artist, their wait list, and the type of work that you're getting done. Complicated or detailed or custom work doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be, uh, cheaper or more expensive. I know guys out there who will charge sometimes double to do tribal work because they hate it and they don't want to do it all day long. So the idea is to find somebody whose work is similar to like what you're already looking for, and it seems like they enjoy doing, and then forget about what you think it's going to cost and just get it done right by somebody who specializes maybe in that area. If an artist keeps kind of steering away from something, it might be because they just don't want to do it. Nothing wrong with that. Find another artist. Look around. Take a look at portfolios. Take a look at their work that they've already done. And that, I guess, leads me to my third point. We see people who come into the tattoo studios, usually with a friend in tow, and the friend is the one that's giving them advice on what prices they should be looking at, what entails a good tattoo, etc., etc. And that friend is usually covered in fucking shit. Like, if your buddy is covered in bad tattoos, why the fuck would you care what his opinion is on a tattoo? Obviously, he doesn't really pay for his tattoos, and if he does, he has dramatically skewed views on what they should cost. Or their taste is bad, or they have no judgment when it comes to picking a decent artist. So if you have friends like that and they are really dead set on trying to help you or guide your decision making process, maybe go without them. Leave them at home and go yourself. Strike it out on your own and see what happens with that. I would also say that when it comes to walk-ins, most studios try to advertise, and obviously we want to do walk-ins. If there's an empty spot in between appointments, everyone wants to fill it. Everyone wants to try to make money. However, there are things that are not walk-ins. Complicated cover-ups would probably be one of them. Large-scale pieces like half sleeves or starting on a back piece or pretty much anything that's going to fill like an entire section of your body, probably not going to be a walk-in. Not saying that there's not places that can't do it, but you're probably not really going to get the best idea as if everyone sat down for less than 20 minutes to kind of come up with an idea and draw something. Some of that stuff takes a little bit of time, work, and effort, and that's on both your parts, the artist and the client getting the piece. So you guys can kind of go back and forth and figure out what's going to work best for you. I literally, this entire rant started because 40 minutes ago I had a girl who came in with a picture off of Pinterest, which is essentially, it's the new thing with the underboob kind of central sternum piece covered with all these ornate black and gray roses, and wanted the exact tattoo. And as soon as I tried to start explaining why that's not a walk-in, because apparently it was a tattoo emergency, it had to be done today. But secondly, how that would have to be drawn and fitted specifically to fit her frame, because while, she wasn't fat or anything, she definitely wasn't like Rihanna or whatever fucking celebrity had that tattoo on the picture. So there would need to be adjustments made so that it fits her, not the girl in the picture. Not to mention the fact that the one that she pulled up was probably between 6 and 9 hours worth of work. And that's just a ballpark. Could be more than that, could be a little less than that, but I mean, altogether, that's probably going to end up being possibly session work. And when I explained, like, hey, if you're never going to be able to come back to make an appointment, you're probably not ever going to be able to get it finished, because that's something that's going to take more than one shot. Probably a full session of just sitting down, getting it drawn out, mapped out, actually, lined on there, and most likely coming back and doing all the shading, or if you're adding color and doing all that stuff later. And then I explained that my personal rate's right around $120 an hour, and for that many hours, she could be, at least, $1,000, let's say. That's when her boyfriend, who was covered in garbage work, started cursing and fucking literally just openly shit-talking as he's walking out the door. Please don't be those people. Like, stop. My advice is find somebody who has good tattoos, who's covered in really good work, and take their advice. Figure out who they go to and talk to that artist. And if you're not sure if that's good, try to get multiple recommendations. Call around, see if the artist is excited about doing the piece. If they sound like they're miserable and they don't want to touch it and they don't want to, go somewhere else. It's the easiest way of doing things. And for the love of fuck, please, God, stop getting tattooed in people's basements or in hotels or in somebody's garage. It's fucking awful, and it can get you sick. Like, that's mainly the big thing. Is there's also a lot of these tattoos you can't cover. And I hear every single day people saying, yeah, I just need you to fix this. And then they show me some horror show on their arm, and they're like, yeah, all it needs is ... And they're firmly convinced that all it needs is new line work, or all it needs is a little bit of color. And usually it needs way more than that, and it's usually a cover-up. We see portraits that are fucking destroyed. And a lot of times there is no fixing that. There is no very simple fix, or, oh yeah, all it's going to take is a little bit of shading and this and that. Like, you see hard lines in the nose and the eye. It's done. It's over. You're going to have to cover it and start over somewhere else. So please don't be those people. Don't go cheap. There's a lot of things in this world that you can get away with going low ball on. Tattoos are not one of them. You will not find a great deal on a tattoo. It's not going to happen. Go with somebody who knows what they're doing. Prepare to pay for it. And get something that's going to last you for the rest of your life and that you can be proud of. You'll thank us later. Hopefully this helps. And if you know somebody who's getting tattooed or is thinking about getting one, please tag them in this shit, share it, like it, and subscribe. Thoughts? Obviously, other artists. If there's things that drive you nuts, I'd love to hear what your main gripes are. This is just one of my, rough days. This just came in, and I figured I might as well talk about it and try to tell the people who aren't in the industry what's going on. And for those of you out there who have questions about getting a tattoo, feel free, ask away, and hopefully we can help you out. Till next time.